Hey, Kansas City, Franny here. I am going to start doing some lives about historic neighborhoods of Kansas City and talk about them in their development. I especially love uh, the gilded years of the 1880s to the 1920s. So that's when a lot of our neighborhoods were developed. And the homes that we sell at Urban Core KC in the urban core, they are so many different architectural diversity in the homes, and the neighborhoods kind of defined those homes. But each neighborhood of Kansas City also has kind of its own flavor. And so I thought it'd be fun to start sharing just what I've learned and learning over the years as being a historic and midtown realtor and a vintage home realtor about these neighborhoods. So the first one I'm going to share today is about Squire Park. And Squire Park is the boundaries are uh, on the north side, Armour Boulevard, south side, 39th Street, and then to the east, Paseo, and to the west, Troost. And so Squire Park originally started about probably in the late 1800s. The land was originally bought by William Stewart in 1836. And then James J. Squire actually bought it in 1881. And James Squire was um, he was a cattleman. He came from Chicago, like a lot of cattlemen came from. And he became pretty wealthy and then opened two different banks and purchased this land development that's now known as Squire Park. Now, a lot of people know about Hyde Park. What I have found when I'm out and about showing houses and talking about neighborhoods, lots of people who know the urban core of Kansas City know the Hyde Parks, and there are four Hyde Park neighborhoods. But very few know Squire Park, I think because it is on the east side of Troost. But Squire Park is very unique in that it's got a very historic artsy, historic. There's several architects that built in Squire Park. It originally, and you can see when you go through Squire Park, was not built on a grid system. They were trying to build the neighborhood along some curving streets to meet the landscape. So it's got that interest to it. After the James Squire died, he actually the development went to his son-in-law and his daughter, Robert Jones and Kara Squire. And so they continued to develop it. And then it became one of the streetcar suburbs of Kansas City. And then later became a redlined neighborhood and a white flight neighborhood. It was block busted and it just went through some real issues. But in the 1990s, it saw a revival, and it's really doing great now. As a matter of fact, what kind of inspired me is we do have a listing coming up in the neighborhood in a few weeks, maybe a month, that looks sort of like, get this right, this is the sister house. It's actually under contract right now. This is at 3542 Tracy, and it's a craftsman with a little bit of prairie style influences because of the large overhangs. And this house, you can look it up. You can probably find it on Zillow still, 3542 Tracy. And this is one of the typical houses in Squire Park. We are getting ready to sell 3545 Forest, which is right behind this house. It looks exactly like this house. Very beautiful house. But I just wanted to show you a few of the houses and what they look like. They have just a lot of different styles. You get a lot of Kansas City shirtwaist, some little bit of Victorian feel to these houses. This is what Troost Avenue looked like in the area of Squire Park back in the early 1900s. So Squire Park was built by one family and really built well, beautiful homes, a lot of trees and old growth, mature neighborhoods, very beautiful. And as I said earlier, there are a lot of artists that live in Squire Park, and you cannot go wrong. So the houses range in price from, I've seen them as low as $250 all the way up to this last house I just showed you on Tracy was listed at $560 and went under contract pretty quickly. So it's very interesting what the neighborhood is really holding its value and has for a while. So anyway, I wanted to just share a little bit about this neighborhood, and I will continue to share other neighborhoods as I find houses that are for sale in those neighborhoods that I think are pretty cool, and it gets my interest up about these neighborhoods. Okay, thank you, and we will see you next time.